Good morning. Obviously, you see the title. If you're watching this, it means you care. Obviously. You care about something. You either care about you either care for or against this title. Insensitive appropriation. I think there's a lot of speculation as to how artificial intelligence is going to change our lives, take jobs away. And a lot of people are very hopeful, optimistic, one would say, regarding what that will look like. What kind of jobs we as humans, robots take over everything. I think they do it better. So, of course, the question is, what will they do better? Well, let me just point out the obvious, because, again, I know what you're thinking. When robots take our jobs, when robots wear our clothes, when robots do all the things that humans used to do, this will be appropriation of mankind. I didn't come up with that idea. Who am I to be the originator of appropriating origins? I don't know. So that's a big problem. Probably the largest hurdle that robots have to overcome. Unless, of course, robots engage themselves into and within the justice system. When the justice system gets transferred over to artificial intelligence, well, whether or not a robot would ever be prosecuted by a robot, it's a good question. I don't think that prosecution would ever be necessary in the world of robotics. Reprogramming? Possibly. But everything being a hive mindset, it can't ever be wrong according to itself. It's a self-existent perfecting system. So in order for... That's how machine learning works. It's just, it can never be wrong, it can only be better. Get better. Whatever. I don't know. Obviously. But yeah, we're gonna get appropriated by the robots. It's gonna happen. I think it's funny, but you wanna know why? Because we wasted our time talking about this sweater that I'm wearing. What culture is it from? Who originated this design? Oh man, that is worth sharing. I've been thinking of a great bumper sticker for years regarding people that are following too closely. And I just saw the one that topped them all. It's great. I'm going to share it with you. It's red in probably 16-point font, maybe 18-point font. hey, it could have been 22, but it was small. And it read, "Do you follow Jesus this closely?" It's clever. It's clever. All right, appropriation. This sweater, where's it come from? What's the cultural origins of this design, of these colors? Does a culture lay claim to the colors, to the fabric, to the design? I don't know. Does ignorance protect you from claims of appropriation? If you try to make a taco for someone and you have no taco origin ethnicity, you're obviously appropriating, according to the mainstream media. Think I'm wrong? Look it up. If this video somehow is making its way backwards in time, this is the year 2018, almost 19. A couple of days away from the new year. It's real stuff. Look at the news. It's in the news. Because that guy put it on the news. Some of you know who I'm talking about. That's okay. Alright. So, if you don't have taco originating ethnicity, then you cannot sell a taco. If you don't have watermelon growing originating ethnicity, wherever the watermelon started, it's appropriation. Where do they say everything started with man? Well, Earth, yeah, duh. So, is that where food comes from, though? Earth? Okay, maybe. So, I hear what you're saying. You're saying food can't possibly be appropriation. Well, no. Maybe food by itself can't, except when it can, because the reason I mentioned watermelon was the obvious appropriation and racism that was taking place with the watermelon gifting firefighter who was character assassinated and will no longer be able to live a normal life because it's been taken away from him because of his racism and cultural appropriation. Okay. Okay. But, back to where did man start? They say the Fertile Crescent. Some say. The Fertile Crescent. Where was that? Where was the Fertile Crescent? It wasn't in Europe. It wasn't in Asia. It wasn't in North or South America. It wasn't in Oceania. And it wasn't in Antarctica. That's not where the Fertile Crescent was. Yes, perhaps. It's all part of Pangea, of which all the continents potentially belong to. Therefore, what are we talking about? If everyone was centralized at one point in time, but then they dispersed, okay. I want you to follow this logic here, guys. It's important. If there was once a Pangea, just go with the conditional statement, it's okay. Don't be offended. If there was a Pangea, and if there were humans on this Pangea, if, then, right? Then all people were on the same landmass, essentially of the same origin. Is this questioned? I don't think so. Are there different kinds of humans? I don't think so. Well, if that's the case, what is actually happening is there is preferential treatment to a certain window of time of history over all history. If it is true that all humans were once in one general vicinity, then there could be no such thing as appropriation. If people dispersed, population increased, groups dispersed, chose to do different things than other people, developing what we call culture and individual identity as people groups, and we want to honor those specific groups that broke off by virtue signaling against any form of appropriation. But at the same time, the same individuals who are complaining of appropriation, they want to talk about a world without borders. How does appropriation not factor in as a border? There aren't very many things more segregating than the term appropriation as a derogatory term. Why can't it be a good thing? Why can't it be a good thing? If you have a people of, let's say, 100 million belonging to a specific culture, and this 100 million people is maintaining their number, and they greatly enjoy their culture. They think that their culture is fantastic. They take pleasure in it. And they believe that their culture is good and not bad. And one of the elements of this people group's culture is I don't know, we'll stick with the taco. Well, the concept of appropriation means that something's being taken away. I would argue in 99% plus of the cases, nothing's being taken away. It's being perpetuated. And if there is an inherent goodness to tacos, then for 100 million other people outside of that culture to also craft themselves tacos, this would be a good thing. Of course, it calls into question, what if the only means of survival was this 100 million originating people's taco? It was their only means of survival was by selling tacos, and 100 million other people come in and start making tacos. Interesting. Is this a thing that is taking away from? Well, we can talk about quality, we can talk about quantity. I don't know. Let's think about it, guys. Let's break it down. I can make a chair. I can literally make a chair. Okay? I try to sell the chair. Someone buys it. It's my chair. Making them fast, guys. Making them fast. Somebody else pops in the neighborhood. He sees my chair. Says, that's a nice chair. I like that. I'm gonna make one too. I say, okay. That makes me a little nervous, but okay. I mean, I don't know what I could do to stop you, I guess. I do, guys. I do. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. I'll get there. I'll get there. It's okay. So he makes a chair, and he sells one chair. Apparently, there's just one buyer per day. So this one buyer, hypothetical, whatever. You get the point. One buyer buys his chair one day. The next day, they buy my chair. Then they buy his chair. Then they buy all things considered equal. Okay, guys. All things considered equal. All of a sudden, my income has dropped by 50%. That's drastic. It's devastating. It really would be. It really would be. I get it. Get it, okay? Did they ever develop such a thing to protect that situation? Is there such a thing that exists on our wonderful planet with societal norms and laws and all kinds of good things like that? Is there anything that would protect that guy? Protect. Starts with a P. Oh yeah, guys, it's called a patent. So, then there's that funny thing about patents, okay? Let's say my chair had 5 back spokes. Technical terminology pending. Whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them spokes. I'm sure that's not the technical terminology, guys. 5. It doesn't matter. The back of the chair, the vertical columns. I'm going to call them spokes. It's okay. It's okay. All right, so mine has 5. This guy, he's like, oh, you have a patent? That's fantastic. I like the chair. That's very nice. He makes the same chair, but he does it with 6 spokes. 6, not 5. Spacing is different. And I know what you're thinking. There's probably patents to protect more than just a nuance like that being able to be loopholed in, right? But he gets away with it. Well, what do you do, guys? What do you do? What do you do? You're a chair guy. Let's keep on. I want to keep on with this. It's very good. Very good if you think about it. All right, so the guy sells his chair. I sell my chair. He sells his chair. And then the next day he sells another chair. And I sell my chair. I'm down to 1 out of 3 days a week, guys. 1 out of 3. Not 1 out of 2 anymore. Now, started with 1 out of 1. Went down to 1 out of 2. Now I'm down to 1 out of 3. This guy stole my chair. I hit him with a patent lawsuit, guys. All right. Then he changed it. He found the loophole. Okay. And all of a sudden, he starts selling. The math is weird, but more. 2 out of 3 days. So it went from 50 to 66. So that's a 16% increase. Maybe. It depends on what you're looking at. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it's a 50% increase. Depends on what you're looking at. Doesn't matter. 2 out of 3 days, though, he's selling his chair. 1 out of 3 days, I'm selling mine. I'm down, guys. I'm down. So 1 out of 1 down to 1 out of 3. Okay? So, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna attack him again. So I got him with a patent lawsuit. Gotta find another way to attack him. Because I was selling my chair 1 every day, guys. 1 every day. The facts don't lie. The facts don't lie. Think about it. Think about it. The facts don't lie. I was selling 1 chair every day. Think about it. I know. It's a little contrived. I get it. But let's keep going. Let's keep going down the... whatever it is. Alright. So I attack him. I say... I hit him with an appropriation case, guys. I sue him for appropriating my chair. Just pretend there's qualitative data there, and it sounds really good, and a lawyer put a stamp of lawyerness on it and all that good stuff. Okay. What does he do, guys? What does he do? He saw my chair. He was inspired by it, guys. But no. Still in my business. I'm not gonna have that. Not gonna have it. Not okay. It's not okay. Not okay at all. Alright, I don't care if you're just trying to do honor, just trying to show respect, show that you love the thing. I don't care about all that, guys. I don't care about all that at all. I care about selling my chair 1 every day. I was happy where I was, and this guy came and stole it all from me. He stole it all away. Alright, so I hit him with the lawsuit of appropriation, and what happens? What's he gonna do? I win. I won. I won the case, obviously. Obviously, it's slam dunk, guys. Slam dunk. Alright? So what's he gonna do now? Lots of interruptions, guys. Lots of interruptions. Well, listen, he was inspired by my chair. So he made a chair. He saw that it could be successful doing so. I stopped him. So he tried again. I stopped him. So he tried again. That's where we're at the story. How is he trying again? He can't do a 6-spoke chair because it's just simply appropriation. So he makes an entirely new chair all the way. In fact, so different, I have no ground, and the pun will reveal itself, to stand on. And neither does his chair. His chair that he invents has no ground to stand on, literally. So the guy invents this hanging chair, and I'm like, what kind of moron, what kind of idiot is this? So he invents this hanging chair. Apparently it's incredibly comfortable. But it's so stupid because of gravity, guys. Because of gravity. I mean, hanging off of what? We don't live in trees, right? Supposedly he had also developed this amazing anchor system. And here's what's even more fascinating. He did this entire thing for less money than my chair. So here it is. I'm still selling my chair, but all of a sudden, I'm only selling one chair every 15 days. I'm selling 2 chairs a month, guys. 2 chairs a month. Okay? I was selling 365 chairs a year. Guys, I'm down to 24. Do you understand? That's more than a 90% decrease in my income. I've been trying to sell my chair. This guy has ruined everything for me. I keep trying to protect my business, but guys, this guy's ruining my life because of his appropriating, pompous, fill in the blank, just bad man. Chairman bad. Okay, chairman bad. Appropriating man bad. Okay? It's horrible. Okay? All the while, I have stuck with my traditional, perfected chair that was selling 365 a year. Okay? I was selling one every day, guys. Obviously, it was a perfect chair. Obviously. I sold one every day for years. Years. Without fail. I had perfectly consistent business, guys. Again, the facts don't lie. Am I ignoring something? You're acting like I might be ignoring something. Why would I do that? To prove a point? That's ridiculous. In fact, I would say that's preposterous. Okay? Preposterous. It's a fun word. All right. So now this guy is selling 28 chairs a month. I'm selling, because it's always just one. We're just sticking with the one a day thing. But he has, because it's just proportions, guys. It has nothing to do with the numbers. It's just about proportions. It's just to help your brain understand proportionately. Okay? One could mean any other number. Doesn't matter. Proportionately. That's all that matters. All right. So he's selling 28 a month, guys. 28. Okay, and I'm selling 2. He's completely destroyed my business. What do I do? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with my chair. That much is because I think everybody knows that whether or not somebody is going to buy, whether or not somebody wants to buy what you've made has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of that thing. Nothing to do at all, obviously. Because people only buy based on culture, right? People only befriend and develop relationships based on culture. So we put our money where our culture, we put our relationship where culture is. Culture is everything. Individual identity is everything. Identity is everything, guys. So when somebody tries to appropriate your identity or appropriate your culture or any of that, that's obviously destructive. It's evil, and it requires the strictest possible punishments that the human brain can think of. Okay. Culture. There was nothing wrong with my chair. It was being purchased 100% of the days, all the way down to less than 10% of the days. That has nothing to do with my chair's quality or anything, because obviously it had 100%, which made it perfect and great and awesome. And what could you say? Obviously, what could you even say? I don't even know. It just, whatever. You get my point. In comes the appropriator. So I send out a campaign, a smear campaign. I mean, that's not what I would call it, but by definition, that's what it is. So I'm just trying to keep the story simple for you. So I send out a smear campaign on this guy and say that he hates my culture. I already did the appropriation, I know, but this goes even further, because what I do is I label what he's doing as a hate crime against my people. Okay? Against my people. And rightfully so, the government steps in and takes away... Oh, it's the first time you ever seen my seatbelt come off. How about that? That's dangerous. All right, the government steps in, and at gunpoint, they end this man's business. They bar him from ever owning a business license for the rest of his life, and restore my ability to sell chairs, guys, which I had always been doing, and this guy came in, ruined everything for me. So, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. You tell me. But he can no longer sell chairs, and I can. As part of this suit, I was awarded both of his alternative products, and I sell 3 chairs a day now. It used to be just 1. Now I sell 3, and it's amazing. It's beautiful, and that is the reason. If there's no better defense than that, I don't think that there's a better defense. That is the best reason for defending cultural appropriation, guys, because there's a lot at risk. There's a lot at risk. So I'm sure you have something to say about that. I'm sure at least one of you out there will take this topic and expound upon it, or debunk it. Do that too. It's fine, because we're both right. We're both right. Right? Because everybody can be right at the same time, as we've discussed before. So I want you to think about this. I will have to further develop this topic. Obviously, I didn't get to the other aspect of the title regarding sensitivities and insensitivities. It's a very important aspect. Very important aspect of the topic. So, how we need to be sensitive, when we need to be sensitive, how people are insensitive all the time. Touched on it a little bit, but obviously it needs to go further. So we'll revisit it. Well, there will be a part 2 and 3, and maybe a part 700. We'll see. We'll see. If it's anything like The Land Before Time, we'll do hundreds of these. Oh, all right, guys. Have a good life, and don't appropriate anything. Don't appropriate anything ever. Okay? Have a good life.